Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is Comics Today. This is a show that I do on Wednesday to celebrate the best day of the week, that being New Comic Book Day. And I want to welcome everybody to this live stream, everyone that is trying to celebrate with me. I managed to make it to the comic shop today, and I have a nice stack of books that are sitting off to my side here. And as I reflect upon this stack of books, I remembered that there was something that I wanted to do that I did not do in time for the show. So we are going to see whether we can work it in nevertheless. And I am trying to write myself a note here so that I actually remember to work this in. All right, cool. So this is a show, again, that we do every single week to celebrate New Comic Book Day. I typically have a guest on with me to help me make sense of some things that are happening in the world of comics, but we have been on a tear. We've been on a tear for the last couple of weeks with a lot of really awesome guests. And I needed a break. I needed a little bit of a break. This week has been brutal at work. It really has. We have a performance review this week, so I had to kind of get geared up for that, and then just regular work has also been a lot. Thankfully, my performance review was great. I exceeded expectations on the job front, so that makes things a lot easier for other aspects of my life. But yeah, the job was pretty crazy, so there were things that I wanted to do that I did not get a chance to do this week. I will tell you, though, that if I'm able to make magic happen, there will be a guest on next week, next Wednesday, that will be a little different from what we've done in the past. But I think it will be a pretty solid discussion if I'm able to make the magic happen. So definitely want to encourage you guys to stay tuned for next week's show. Not to say that this show is going to be whack. I'm just simply saying the next week's show will be good. Let's put it that way. The way that we like to do the shout outs here, whenever we do a live show, we typically like to do some shout outs. But what we do on Wednesdays is we shout out those people that were able to make it to their local comic shops, picked up some books, and have maybe read those books. But we do a rundown of, if you picked up some books, what did you pick up? If you read something, what did you read? And what is it that we might want to put on the top of our respective stacks to ensure that we don't miss some good stuff? So in a moment, I am actually going to be going to the chat here. I will tell you, there was a little bit of a discussion that started before I arrived. I think people started showing up here in the chat around 6:40. There was a question about the sheets, the pieces of paper that were in the top of my long boxes in one of my recent videos. Those are MIP sheets. Tina, the OG Blue Wrench, was correct. Those are MIP sheets that I actually put in my boxes. A lot of times I'll put them in the tops. I'll put them on top of books. I'll put them sometimes in the side of long boxes to kind of help with some of those gases that are giving off of comics, but they also help with odors as well. And so I kind of sometimes will put those into a bin. If I have a good bin with some good comics, I want to try to offer a little bit of protection. The way that you're really supposed to do it is you're supposed to put the MIP sheets inside of the book. These are the same type of sheets that are actually used by CGC when they encapsulate a book. So it helps with some of the off gases that come off of paper. It helps with to help preserve the book just a little bit. And so I try to, instead of putting them in each individual books, because that would be super expensive, I try to put them in the bins at least, right, to kind of give a little bit of some help. If you are interested in reading more about MIP sheets or even picking up some, there is a link on the partner page of my website, regiecollects.com, where you can go and read all kinds of information and also get a discount code. I don't make any money off of that. I offer it up in case people are interested in MIP sheets. The owners of the company are pretty solid, and so I want to try to help them out. So regiecollects.com, partner page, MIP sheets, all the information is there. And if you cannot find it, please let me know and I will try to hook you up. All right. The other question that I've seen people ask me is, why do I do the countdown? Why do I do the countdown at the beginning of my videos? That is a question that I've seen on my live streams. There's a couple of reasons why I do it. I do it to get myself together. I do it to compose myself. I also do it because with live streams, they are typically distorted for the first few seconds of a live stream. So by doing the countdown, what I'm allowing is for the distortion to go away, so that by the time I come on screen, the picture is much more clear. So there is a reason for it. I'm certainly not trying to stretch the videos out. I do it because it actually makes sense and hopefully makes for a better experience when people actually see my face, that I don't look all jacked up and distorted because the stream is struggling to get going. So hopefully that provides a little bit of context. All right, with that said, I am going to go to the live chat here to see what folks may have picked up on New Comic Book Day. Flash Fan says, I learned today that Last Ronin fits in Reggie's amazing story. What's funny is that I have my Last Ronin right here in the brown envelope because I picked it up from the LCS, and I did not try to slide it in the store folio, which I had with me. I don't know why. Oh, you know, I do know why. I didn't have a bag for it. I didn't have a bag and board for it, so I just left it in there. But it's good to know that it does indeed fit inside of the Comics to Go box, the Comics to Go box. So let me see what else. Let me scroll through. Master Blaster says he picked up a dope pillowcase. If you guys have not seen the various pillowcases that Master Blaster has been handing out, you are definitely missing out on a whole lot of fun. So I definitely, Master Blaster, if you want to give people a shout out, one of them was open on my box, on my channel. But if you want to give a shout out for the other, go ahead and throw that up into the chat. So scrolling through, what is this? Bought the best comic out. 412 says Chuck. I have not read it, but I do indeed have it in my box here. Blue says he bought Amazing Spider-Man 252. That is a fantastic book to pick up, my friend. Scrolling through some of the comments here. There you go, man. There you go. All right, so Matt Woods. Matt Woods is the recipient of the other very dope pillowcase from Master Blaster. Big Spoon is in the house. You definitely want to check out Matt Woods' channel here on the YouTube machine and see him unbox the awesome pillowcase that he received. And these things are very tough to explain. I can tell you that for a fact. Pillowcases of a man from a man, it's hard to explain to your significant other. It really is. These are some things that just defy logic, that cannot be explained. Yet here we are trying to explain them to significant others often. So scrolling through, Jason is one of those folks that is being affected. And there's a lot of folks that I think are being affected by these storms that are happening, which are delaying the delivery of comic books in certain parts of the country here. So fingers crossed that you guys stop getting hit with all the storms and all the snow, and things can get somewhat back to normal, right? So fingers crossed for you, brother. Scrolling through, Chris says, unfortunately, my New Comic Book Day is tomorrow, since payday is tomorrow. You know what, bro? I respect that. I respect the alignment of those two things. So fingers crossed that you're able to snack some good books when you make it through to the shop. So scrolling through, does the pillowcase come with Reggie? Brother, we don't need life-size Reggies, okay? Because if we were to have like a fitted sheet, right? I mean, you would have essentially a life-size Reggie laying next to you. That could be awkward. That could be awkward. I'm gonna just throw that out there. What is it? Dave says he picked up Adventure Comics issue number 491. Congrats to you, my friend. That is definitely not a new comic, but it is a pretty awesome comic. Shout out to you, brother. I don't know if you picked it up in an LCS or off the internets, but either way, congrats on that for certain. What is this? I was fortunate enough to get a Fantastic Four King Size Special 6 today. Congrats to you, Mr. Williams, on that one. Scrolling down through the comments here, Adam says he picked up Marvel Premiere 15, the first Iron Fist from the LCS. Congrats on that. That's definitely a cool book. I was recently talking to somebody as of yesterday, Go Collect blogger, about Iron Fist and the possibilities for where Iron Fist could appear. Some people are speculating that he could appear in a tournament, a fighting tournament in the Shang-Chi movie. So that is definitely not a bad book to pick up. There's a lot of discussion as well about whether the Iron Fist should be recast from the actor that actually portrayed him in the Netflix series. So I'll throw that out to the group for you guys to go ahead and comment on that. I definitely have my feelings about several of the actors. Like I think the woman that played Alias, I think she did a fantastic job. I really do. I think she played a fantastic role. Jessica Jones, I think the guy that played Luke Cage, I thought he did a solid job, and certainly Charlie Cox, just fantastic job. And Punisher is a whole different thing because John is incredible. He's incredible as the Punisher. So scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing does not look like a whole lot of people picked up new comics. A lot of people picking up some good stuff, but maybe not new comics, which is perfectly fine. Oh, Milt's in the house. How you doing, brother? He says Stillwater said, bro. So I just started reading Stillwater, and I'm quite disappointed in myself because many months ago when Stillwater issue number 1 dropped, we actually did a blog post about it. Scott P did a blog post about it many months ago, and I read it. I was like, that's a great blog post. Sounds like a pretty cool book. Never read the issue. Started reading the issue just recently. Stillwater is official. It is official. So I'm kicking myself that I did not get on board with that one early. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Well done, Gene. Well done. Brother, the giving goes deep over here because we are giving it all the way down to Texas. Texas is, I think, in what, -0 or something crazy like that. So it's crazy in these streets right now. It really is. So such a big comic book day, such terrible weather. Well said, brother. No doubt about that one. No doubt about that one. Scrolling through, Y says picked up Shadow Doctor at the LCS. Very nice. Very nice. I would support recasting Iron Fist, but the other actor should stay. Joe, I do not disagree with a single word that you uttered in that sentence, brother. I think that all of the other actors I'm cool with. The guy that played Iron Fist, he started rocky. He got a little better, but I think potentially there is a better actor out there that can actually do that. And the argument that we made in the Behind the Blog podcast episode, which will be released probably this upcoming Sunday, was that the Shang-Chi movie could be a great restart to recast that character, the Iron Fist character, to put another actor there. That could be a great way to introduce the Iron Fist to the MCU as a new character. So we will see whether Iron Fist appears first, whether they also recast him second. We shall see how it actually plays out. So scrolling through some of the comments here, I think I'm all caught up. We should get some Gibbon fur coat. Brother, we might get some Gibbon mittens out here, okay? We might issue some Gibbon mittens. So I'll show you guys one of the books that I picked up today. It was The Last Ronin, pretty cool book. I think this is what, issue 2, I do believe, of The Last Ronin. Yeah, issue 2. I read one quick headline for this book, and it basically said that this book is solid like the first issue, but I think they said not as prolific. I think that was the word that they used, not as prolific. So I'm actually looking forward to reading The Last Ronin issue number 2. I read issue number 1 and I honestly enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to reading this second one. So I picked up a couple of extra books in my Comics to Go box right there, available at regiecollects.com. Picked up a couple of cool books. Marauders right here. We picked up Marauders issue number 18. Again, a series that I've been reading for a while and also enjoying. Picked up King in Black issue number 4. I have not yet read this, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. Picked up the very expensive book right here for $7.99. The Next Batman. This is issue number 4, and I will tell you, this bad boy is wavy. It is wavy. So if you want to know what's up with wavy comics, make sure you check out one of the recent videos that I released on the channel. For a little bit of 90s nostalgia, I picked up X-Men Legends issue number 1. And the last book that I picked up was Thor issue number 12 right there. So looking forward to reading that. I've been enjoying the Thor run. And I'm probably 2 issues behind. So I'm going to try to play catch up here relatively soon. So let me go back to the thing. What is this? Got picture of everything else, issue number 2, and so many Teen Titan reprints. Yes, Jerry, $7.99, man. That is a couple of bucks right there. It is definitely a couple of bucks. By 2022, the last Ronin should be finished. Well done. You have to watch the videos, my friend, to know what is up with the pillowcases, my friend. You have to watch it. Sean, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. Matthew says the weather is quite nice here. Yes, it is. It is a little cold in the San Francisco Bay Area, but it is nice. Blue says he picked up Haha 2. I have not read that. And maybe I will. Master Blaster is shouting out the Arizona area. Respect that. What is this? Dave says he braved the 24-degree cold weather at 8 a.m. for the last Ronin King in Black and Ha issue number 2. He says hours later, his fingers are still numb. Well, I would encourage you not to read the comics right away if you have numb fingers, because that will not bode well for anything. So I will tell you, Angel says second issue was great. So what I will tell you is that there is another book. There is another book that has recently come out that is a digital copy. And I wanted to try to, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick as I'm running my mouth. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick so that I can actually shout this thing out the right way. And I think that I can. Oh, this is dope. We're going to do it. So I was recently contacted by some folks at Skybound. And I had an opportunity to spend maybe about 45 minutes to an hour on the phone. Well, technically it was video, talking to some representatives from Skybound. And we had a really good conversation about some of the things that Skybound is attempting to do. And one of the things that I actually applaud them for is that they are trying to take a different approach. They are recognizing that, there are comic book related channels out there that have direct ties to the comic book community. And they are attempting to extend an olive branch to channels like mine that put out, I think, good and consistent content. And I personally like that. I personally like them actually taking an interest in some of the things that I am trying to do here on the channel. That is one of the reasons why I've applauded Ross Regie before, who is the CEO and founder of Boom Studios, because he is a member of the comic book community. He gets it, right? And these folks at Skybound are attempting to do something similar. They are attempting to extend a hand, extended olive branch to people that are putting out content for the betterment of the comic book community. And so we had a great conversation on video talking about the different things that Skybound is attempting to do. And they gave me an opportunity to preview a comic. And they were like, this is a new comic that's actually going to be coming out. I want to say it drops. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of the details because I'm doing this off the top of my head. So my apologies for that. I will try to put some of this in the description post this. But they have a new comic that is actually going to be coming out. And they were like, do you want to read it? And I'm like, well, who says no to reading a comic that has yet to come out? So send it to me. So they send me a digital PDF of this comic. And in talking with them, they mentioned the word kaiju. And so I had to just nod my head like I knew what kaiju meant, because I did not. So I had to do some research. I'm like, what is a kaiju, right? So I had to figure that out. And then the PDF comes in, so I read it. And a kaiju, I don't remember the exact definition, but it's like Godzilla. It's basically big monsters, in cities, in, urban communities tearing stuff up, right? So it's basically Godzilla in my mind, right? Or Power Rangers or some of the other stuff. And so I read this comic and I honestly enjoyed it. I did not know what a kaiju was when I went into it. And I read the comic and I honestly enjoyed it. I thought the artwork was great. I thought the story was solid. I had to go back after I finished it and reread certain sections because I felt like I missed some things. I went back and reread some things and I was like, oh, now I completely get it. But I honestly enjoyed the comic. So I want to show you guys what this comic is so that you guys can at least see it. I was hoping to have some of the PDF open to be able to like show you a scene or two, but yeah, I failed on that one. The comic is Ultramega. This comic is called Ultramega, and it says cosmic plague has spread, transforming everyday people into violent, monstrous kaiju. Now you guys know what a kaiju is. Only the Ultramega, 3 individuals imbued with incredible powers, hold the line against this madness. Their battles level cities and leave untold horrors in their wake. Now the final reckoning approaches for the Ultramega. But is this a war they can even win? And so again, man, just from the intro, this thing sounds pretty dope. And I read it. I enjoyed it. It was like a mixture of like Godzilla, Power Rangers, Ultraman, something is killing the children, mixed with like bitter root. And like that is like a whole bunch of stuff that it actually came together quite nicely. And so this is a new comic that is going to be coming out. I want to say like the final order cutoff, I want to say is like the 22nd of this month. I do believe that the comic drops in the middle of March. This is one that if you are into anything that I just said, like kaiju, Godzilla, any of that kind of stuff, Power Rangers, this is potentially a book that you guys want to check out. I am actually going to buy a copy of it because I did enjoy it. I read it digitally, and because I'm a collector, I'm actually going to get hard copies because that's what we as collectors do. So shout out to those guys over at Skybound, Voltron, mixed with a little bit of Voltron in there. Again, it's a little bit of that in there. And I'll be honest with you, man, it was, it was, I don't know, it was like a little bit of like, kind of sort of like a love story with a little bit of like parental like regret. I mean, there was a lot of different elements that were in there. And so again, I would encourage you guys, if you can, to actually check it out because I did indeed enjoy it. All right, so let me go back. What is this? The Lone Ranger. What is this? He says, I'm a fan, enjoy the podcast. I ran through them all in a weekend while working. That's what's up, man. You know, the podcast and stuff like that, you know, it's great content, I think, for like road trips or yard work or workouts, that kind of stuff. You know, you have a little bit of Regie in your ear. It's not a bad way to go. And I think that this is probably the first time that we've seen you in a live stream. So shout out to the Blue Wrenches that are welcoming you to the live stream. This is definitely where the magic happens, my man. This is definitely where the magic happens. Shout out to all the folks that are welcoming him for the first time. I definitely appreciate you guys. You know, I don't know, Milt, if Ultramega is a mini series or if it's going to be an ongoing series. I honestly did not get those details, to be honest with you. It says each issue is an extra size with a 60-page debut that can barely contain its giant heroes and creatures and devastation. I mean, yeah, that's a little over the top, but it honestly was a good read. It was a good read. The art was pretty solid. I don't know if it's an ongoing series or a short series. I have a feeling it might be an ongoing series, to be honest with you. The other thing that I realized as I get ready to transition to something else, what I also realized is that books that I thought were Image books are actually Skybound books. Right. So when I think about Skybound, I automatically think about The Walking Dead, and that's pretty much it. And what I realized is that Skybound actually has a lot more comics out there that I was attributing to just Image when they're actually Skybound. And so it was pretty cool as I was trying to better understand them. I was recognizing that some of the books that I had already read in the past were actually their books and not necessarily Image books. So that was a little bit, that was a little enlightening to me, to be honest with you. So again, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for you guys. I think I've just lost my chat. Let me see if I can get it back real quick. Bear with me, guys, as I attempt to recover the chat, because when that goes out, it is never a good thing. So I'm trying to bring it back here. Bear with me. There we go. We're back. Okay. Robert Kirkman. Yeah. Kirkman. Yes. There you go. Right there. What is this? 1G, does the wife and or the kids watch some, none, or all of your content? The wife watches none. The wife is very thankful that I have you all to talk to. because she doesn't want to talk to me about comics. The kids will watch it. The kids will watch me on, you know, the big TV or something like that. They get a kick out of it. They don't watch much because they're, you know, 6 and about to be 4, so their attention span isn't very long. So yeah, they don't get much out of it, but they do enjoy listening to Dad occasionally, you know, talk a little bit about that. What is this? You got to look at the image as the trunk of the tree, right? Exactly. And I think, you know, the thing about it for a while, like you would only look at an Image comic and see the Image branding on there. And I think now, and I don't know when this started, but now I actually see the Skybound logo on the front of the comic as well, not just like inside the mast on the masthead. So I think that is also helping to kind of reposition Skybound in folks' minds as well, because Image is a lot, but then to the point, there's all of these different individuals, if you will, and companies that are underneath that Image umbrella that I don't know that I paid attention to before. So shout out to those guys. All right. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the Comic-Con. We talked a few months ago about the list of Comic-Cons that had been scheduled. Many of us were crossing our fingers, hoping that Comic-Cons were actually going to make a return. And today I just found out that a con has been canceled. So San Diego Comic-Con cancels the in-person WonderCon for 2021. So that is one of the latest things that has come out. This came out about a day ago. I was actually looking forward to WonderCon. This was, I think it was, what was this, 2019. This was the 2019 WonderCon right here. I was in attendance at this WonderCon right here. I remember standing outside of watching the Shazam stuff up there, but they have basically made the decision to cancel all plans for an in-person convention for WonderCon 2021. And they just kind of go on talking about how this event normally draws 60,000 plus people to the Anaheim Convention Center and lots of resources, that being your dollars that you spend for hotels and all of the other stuff that goes on. But they basically shut it all down, man. So I wanted to make sure that I at least pass that information on to you guys. Who knows what is going to happen in the back half of the year? You know, I actually talked to one of my friends that is a nurse down in San Diego, and she says that things down there in San Diego have actually improved. There are fewer patients on vents, fewer patients coming into the hospital. So maybe that is a good sign. So I just kind of tossed it out to you guys. What is this? Comic Tom 101 is in the house, says sad news about the con scene. We are going to bring the house down with it. Brother, I think we're going to be just excited to be like out of the house, that everything will turn into a party. We are going to get burgers and it becomes a party. We go get pizza, it becomes a party. You give us an opportunity to come to a con, and to your point, we are going to tear things down. Like, there will be parties all night because people are just excited to be outside of their house. I talked to a friend down in Florida that's into comics, and she is actually going to some event this weekend, and she's like, I can't wait. She's like, talking to comic folks is just going to be good for my soul. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we are all just looking forward to making some magic happen. So Steve says, I think the cons, oh, really? Really? Okay. Hey, the thing is, maybe some of these smaller local cons are actually going to happen. So that could bode well. That could definitely bode well. So Jerry's like, we are locked down here in California. Well, we did have the Garage Con. We disobeyed all the rules and congregated. We kept our distance. We wore our mask, and I don't think one single person got sick. So I can't speak for other cons. I'm just thankful Garage Con did not contribute to anyone getting sick. But again, shout out to my man, Comic Tom. Comic Tom here talking about who's going to party. Brother, we can party whenever. As long as everybody keeps their masks on, we can have a party. So the next thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that HBO Max is continuing to blow things up. We know that tomorrow, we are going to be getting the Snyder cut. The Snyder cut of the Justice League is going to be dropping tomorrow. We are going to see Darkseid on the screen. I personally am pumped for that. I know my man Joe is in here, is going to be pumped for it as well. But I want to let you guys know that there are some additional moves that are being made by DC, specifically with HBO Max, which is now the platform that so much content is being released on. A new Constantine show is going to be coming out reportedly on HBO Max, and they are actually recasting the character. This is actually an article that I think Chris Bigger sent me. So shout out to Chris Bigger. This is available on screenrant.com. You can basically see here that a new Constantine series is reportedly in the works with HBO Max from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions, which will recast the iconic role of DC's Hellblazer, John Constantine. So they kind of talk about here that Matt Ryan did a little bit of it, and Keanu Reeves also played the role back in 2005, but they are basically introducing a new series that will potentially be recast. So shout out to DC for continuing to make some moves and bring back this show, or this character, and now this new show. One of the really interesting things here is that there was... Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. Hush. Hush, woman. Hush, woman. All right. So there is a little bit of some additional news here that there is potential for there to be a Justice League Dark series at HBO Max. And they kind of allude to in this article that the Swamp Thing series, which you guys know debuted back in 2019, I thought was incredible. Many of you thought was incredible. They are rumored. There are rumors out there that Swamp Thing is potentially going to come back on HBO Max. We're going to have John Constantine on HBO Max, which might allow for a version in the future of Justice League Dark. So those are kind of, that's kind of like the rumor that's out there. That's where people are kind of pointing their fingers to say that this could happen. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. The DC movies have not all been good, but the TV shows are not bad. I think they do a pretty good job with the TV shows. And I will tell you again, Swamp Thing, the show, I thought was really, really well done. So there is some potential for all those people that saw Swamp Thing go away. There is some potential that maybe it will come back, and maybe it'll be something that leads to something bigger, especially with John Constantine going on. So let me bounce back to the chat real quick to see what you guys are talking about. There you go. Joe is like, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Series. I thought I was going to bring her up. She is all in my business tonight. There you go. There you go. Because again, I think the reason we've spoken about this, one of the things that we talked about is that potentially the reason that the Swamp Thing show was shut down was because of the fact that production was so expensive. I think there were like some tax cuts that they were supposed to get that they didn't get, that also resulted in, hey, we're going to pull the plug. But it was such a good show that it's like you could bring it back and you could truly have a hit on your hands. And then that thing could lead to something else, which leads to, you know, a lot of excitement around what HBO Max is actually rolling out. So we will see. We will see kind of how it plays out. What is this? TV shows are fire, and the movies, except for a couple. There are a couple of movies, and I think, Chris, you would probably agree with this. Like I watched Aquaman recently, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because there is a video that is going to be coming out, I think, next week or the week after about this. But I watched Aquaman. I thought it was good. There were some points that were pretty boring, but as a whole, I thought Aquaman was pretty good. Wonder Woman was pretty good. Shazam, I was kind of entertained by that one. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is the best movie ever, but it was not bad. It was not bad. And a couple of what I just said there will also be covered in upcoming videos from my channel, and also some things coming out from Go Collect. So stay tuned to some of that. We're going to go into a lot more details in some of that stuff right there. So let me scroll through. There we go. Dave says, I love Shazam. I'm not going to lie. It was better than I thought that it was going to be. I'll be honest with you. It was better than I anticipated it being. And I watched the whole thing. And again, there you go. Again, TV shows for DC, they do good work because the Titans is by far my favorite. I've watched most of season 1 of Batwoman. That's okay. That's okay. Not great. It's okay. But Titans is incredible for certain. So scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Thankfully, Titans is coming back for season 3. And we are going to get a couple of new characters in there. I am honestly excited for that. I am excited for what comes next, to be honest with you. Matt says he still hasn't seen Shazam. It's not bad, bro. If you had to pick between two, I would say watch Aquaman, because I felt like Aquaman was solid. I enjoyed Aquaman. Shazam was a cute movie. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when The Rock comes on screen come what? November or December of 2022 when Shazam 2 comes out. Shout out to my man, Tony Trombetta, the owner of EGS. He says, what is this? Regie, can EGS set up a That's what's up, bro. So I'm moving to North Carolina. And I'll be honest with you, I'm looking for something with a little bit of land. And in my head, I'm like, we are having GarageCon like in the garage / on the lawn, depending upon the house that I get. So if you want a table, man, we might be able to make that happen, brother. I'm gonna just put it out there. We can probably make that happen. All right. So shout out to Tony Trebetta from EGS. I definitely appreciate you, brother. Shazam was like an MCU movie. That is a compliment, unfortunately. Well done. Well done. The almighty Liger King is in the house. It is good to see you, my friend. So let me scroll through. Antoine says DC has fantastic animated cartoons and movies. If they can move that over to, yeah, I've never seen any of the cartoons. And I don't know why that is. I've just never seen any of them. I watched Aquaman. As soon as Aquaman popped up on whatever platform it was that it popped up on my TV, I watched it. I under the advice of Master Blaster, I watched Joker as well. I have not finished that movie. I don't do well with mental illness. That was not a feel-good kind of movie, so I have not finished that one. But Aquaman and Shazam and the Wonder Woman movies and the Justice League stuff, I've seen that stuff. But Joker, man, that was too dark for me. That affected me. I could not watch that one. All right. So I think that we have gone through a lot of the stuff that I wanted to go through. Again, I wanted to remind you guys for certain that there is some additional content that is going to be coming out from the channel. Content is released Monday through Thursday. Sometimes we get frisky and release some stuff on Friday as well. So definitely stay tuned to additional content that is going to be coming out from the channel for the rest of this week. All right. The first Wonder Woman was fire. I agree. The second one was a little slow. First one was really, really good. Sith Lord is throwing out predictions over here that WandaVision will introduce the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So, man, the thing about it is that there is so much speculation right now about WandaVision, whether it is going to be Mephisto, whether we are going to see Wonder Man. If you guys looked at the Go Collect speculation video earlier today, there's the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Like, there's a lot of speculation about that. And I got on a conversation with one of the Go Collect bloggers just yesterday. This is fresh in my mind. And I can't remember whether this was his idea or a combination of ideas as we chatted. So I don't want to steal credit for this, but basically what we talked about is if you think about it, everybody knows that Monica Rambeau is about to become Photon. And Monica Rambeau is going to become Photon because she's going back and forth between the hex. She's going back and forth across the hex, and it is changing her on a molecular level. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody also knows that in comics, Wanda Maximoff uttered the words, "No more mutants," that got rid of mutants. But we also saw in this last episode, the hex spreading. We saw the hex spreading and growing larger, right? By miles. And so one of the things that we kind of played around with, this Go Collect blogger and I played around with the idea of what would happen if that also changed people on that same molecular level and gave us an introduction of mutants. What would happen if that is how mutants became? It's the opposite of no more mutants. It is, I am creating mutants because my powers are growing and maybe envelops the entire world. And now people are changed on a molecular level. And that is how mutants are introduced. It is as plausible as any other argument that anybody could make, right? Because we are about to get Monica Rambeau as Photon, right? So anything is possible. Anything is possible. So we will see. Yes, disturbing for certain. What is this? Doug says Joker was really good, intense, like Taxi Driver, another movie that I have also not seen. I do not do well with mental illness. I do not do well with it at all. So I have to skip over some of that stuff. Scrolling through. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jerry. I definitely appreciate that. Speaking of that, I have to record one tonight. So Wonder Man, we have a vote for Wonder Man right there. So we will see whether that is actually going to happen. Friday can't come soon enough, brother. Truth. These are facts, my friend, because on Friday, I will be sitting on the sofa waiting to watch this one. I think Wanda had something to do with Brady winning this week. Well done. No more mutants, says pretty fly for a Filipino guy. Man, brother, the thing about it, and I tell people all this time, one of the great things about the environment that we're in right now with like the movies and the streaming services and all this kind of stuff is that we have an opportunity to just like pontificate, right? And to just have fun and to speculate, not in terms of dollars, but speculate as to what the possibilities can be. And if you're wrong, it doesn't matter because you're having fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like the post that I've been putting up on Instagram the last few days. These homage covers, these homage covers. It gives me an opportunity to go bin diving for some books in my collection and show them off, books that might not be worth anything, but it's just a way to make the hobby fun and engaging. You know what I'm saying? And speculating as to what the possibilities could be for a TV show or whatever. It's all just fun stuff, man. So, the last thing that I wanted to do in this live stream with the roughly 100 of you here is I want to give you an opportunity to add a really cool book to your comic book collection. Thanks to my friends at Go Collect, who put me in a position every single week to be able to give away a comic that is valued somewhere between $150 and $200. You now have an opportunity to add this book to your collection. Nova, The Man Called Nova. This is issue number 1. This is from 1976. It is a 9.0 with white pages. And this book could be yours simply for watching the video that you are looking at right now. And the phrase to enter this week's giveaway is bombs away. You might be asking why? Why bombs away? Marvel's newest bombshell. Bombs away. That is the phrase this week. All you have to do is head over to the community tab, find the post where I'm talking about this book. You click the link, you go to MailChimp, you plug in 3 pieces of information. 2 of them are relevant to you, and one of them is the phrase that is on the screen right now. You then tune into the Ready, Set, Go preview show to find out if you are the winner. That show happens on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. We do a random drawing. And if you are lucky enough to win, you basically have to send me an email and I will send you a really awesome book. In this case, Nova issue number 1 from our friends over at Go Collect. And the thing about it, the way that we do the Go Collect giveaway, it is like Fight Club. We don't talk about the book in the comment section or any of that other kind of stuff because that is a violation of the rules. There is 1 entry per person, per households, per whatever. Keep it fair. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. Don't do it. So 1 entry per person. Good luck to everybody that enters, but there can only be 1. And if you are indeed the winner, on Sunday, I will bundle this book up and I will send it over to you so that you can... Well done, Chris Bigger. Brother, you are on a roll. I definitely appreciate you, my friend. All right. So Pretty Fly is like, it sucks to be on a phone. All right. With that said, I am going to wrap this video up. I have a bunch of stuff that I have to get to. And as I promised you guys, we are going to try to have a guest on next week. This is a person that I've had a couple of conversations with over instant message or email. Good conversation, and I'm looking forward to this discussion next week. So if you can, tune in next week on Wednesday at 7 and we will have a guest on it. We're going to have a good conversation. With that said, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't seen some of the videos that have been released from the channel over the course of this week, I definitely want to encourage you to take some time to watch those videos. Even though this is the video with the phrase in it, continue watching the content. Even though it is a DC heavy week, continue watching the content, because it is all good for the algorithm. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.